What if you fell, felt dizzy, got into a car accident, or needed help and your phone was across the room? That is where the Apple Watch can become more than just a watch. For many seniors, the Apple Watch is not just about counting steps or checking the weather. It can help you call emergency services, alert your family, show important medical information, and even detect certain situations where you might not be able to call for help yourself. Today I'm going to walk you through the emergency features on the Apple Watch, how they work, what you should turn on, and why seniors may want to consider seriously owning an Apple Watch. And don't worry, we're going to go step by step. Hi everyone, welcome back to Ellen's Tips for iOS. If we haven't met, I help seniors learn how to use their iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches in a way that feels simple, practical, and not overwhelming. And today's video is an important one because we're talking about safety. Now, I do want to say this right up front. The Apple Watch is not a replacement for your doctor, and it is not a guarantee that every emergency will be detected, but it can be a very helpful safety tool, especially if you live alone, drive by yourself, go for walks, or simply want one more way to reach help quickly. Before we get started, I just want to make note that I am using an Apple Watch 11, which is the newest Apple Watch, so some of the features may not be available if you're using an Apple Watch SE, and I may not have as many features as if you were using an Apple Watch Ultra. I also want to point out, because people have mentioned it in previous videos, that my digital crown is on the left side, and you can see inside of my settings app, I have it set up that way. I'm wearing the watch on the left wrist, and I have the digital crown on the left side. So I just wanted to get those two things out of the way so you can understand how my watch is set up. The very first feature every Apple Watch owner should know is called Emergency SOS. This lets you quickly call emergency services right from your wrist. On the Apple Watch, there is a side button next to the digital crown, and if you press and hold on that button, you'll see an emergency call slider appear on the screen. This is very important. Do not test this by actually calling 911 unless you truly need help. But I do want you to know where it is. If you're in an emergency, you can press and hold the side button, then use the emergency call slider to call for help. To check this setting, you'll want to open the Apple Watch app. So I'm going to just come into my app library and type in Watch. You'll see the Watch app appears. I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to scroll down until I see Emergency SOS. I'll go ahead and I'll tap on that. And then depending on your watch and your setup, your Apple Watch can call local emergency services and share your location. After the call ends, it may also send a message to your emergency contacts if you have them listed in your device, and it will give your emergency contacts your location. So why does this matter? Because your iPhone may not always be in your hand. It might be in another room. It might be in your purse or charging on the kitchen counter. But if your Apple Watch is on your wrist, help may be much easier to reach. The next feature is one of the biggest reasons many seniors consider buying an Apple Watch. It's called fall detection. Fall detection is designed to notice if you've taken a hard fall while wearing your watch. If the watch detects a hard fall, it can tap you on the wrist, sound an alarm, and show an alert on the screen. If you're okay, you can tap I'm okay. But if the watch detects that you are not moving for about a minute, it can begin a countdown and then automatically call emergency services. This is the part that makes this so important. Let's say someone falls in the garage, outside on a sidewalk, or even in their bathroom. If they're wearing their Apple Watch, fall detection may be able to help call for help. Now, let me show you where to check so you know that it's turned on. So I haven't even left the emergency SOS settings on my iPhone. So I'm still in there, and you can see that fall detection is turned on. You could choose like place always on or only call during workouts, but I find that it's best to have always on selected, because you may fall during a workout, but you could fall anytime. So for many seniors, I would strongly consider choosing always on because falls can happen anywhere, not just during exercise. Apple says fall detection may turn on automatically if your age is entered as 55 or older. But I would not assume that. I would check this setting yourself. Also, make sure your correct age is listed in your health app and medical ID. And one more important note, Apple Watch cannot detect every fall. So this is not perfect, but is still one of the most helpful safety features Apple has added. The next feature is crash detection. On supported Apple Watch models, crash detection is designed to detect a severe car crash. If that happens, your watch can sound an alert and give you a chance to call emergency services or dismiss the alert. If you do not respond, it can automatically call emergency services after a countdown. This is especially important for seniors who still drive, especially if you're driving alone. Maybe you drive to doctor's appointments, the grocery store, or to visit family. If you were ever in a serious accident and couldn't reach your phone, the Apple Watch may be able to help make that emergency call. Crash detection is not available on every older Apple Watch model. So if this feature matters to you, check the model before buying. In general, new models like the Apple Watch Series 8 or newer, the Apple Watch SE second generation or newer, and the Apple Watch Ultra models support crash detection. The next feature isn't flashy, but it's very important. It's called medical ID. Your medical ID can include things like your name, your age, medical conditions, allergies, medications, blood type if you know it. And so these are all very important things when you're in an emergency. It even can show your emergency contacts. And this information can be available from your iPhone or Apple Watch in an emergency, even if your device is locked. So this means that first responders may be able to see important information without needing your passcode. So as you can see, my Apple Watch is dark, but if I push and hold on the side button and just hold it, you're going to see that medical ID pops up. And to set this up, we're going to open the health app on your iPhone. So here's the health app. I'm going to tap on it. And if you come into this area right here, go ahead and tap on the little heart in the bottom left corner. And now we're going to tap on our profile picture in the upper right corner. And now I can go ahead and tap on medical ID. I can go ahead and select edit and then fill in the information that I feel comfortable sharing. And I would especially recommend adding your emergency contacts, medications, allergies, and any major medical condition. Also, look for the options to show your medical ID when locked and to share during an emergency call if this is available in your area. This is one of those settings you hope you never need, but if you do need it, you'll be glad it's there. Now let's talk about heart health notifications. The Apple Watch can notify you about unusually high heart rate, unusually low heart rate, and irregular rhythm notifications. This does not mean the Apple Watch is diagnosing you. It is not a doctor, but it may notice something unusual and let you know that you may want to pay attention or speak to your doctor. To check these settings, open the Apple Watch app on your iPhone. So I'm going to tap into the app library and start typing watch, and I'm going to open the Apple Watch app. Make sure that you've selected My Watch at the bottom, and now scroll down until you see Heart, and then go ahead and tap on Heart. Here, you may see options for high heart rate, low heart rate, irregular rhythm notifications, hypertension notifications. So it has a whole bunch of different settings. You can also set it up if you have a history of atrial fibrillations. And so for seniors, this can be another layer of awareness, not panic, not fear, just awareness. And I always recommend this. If your Apple Watch gives you a heart notification, don't ignore it, but don't panic either. Save the information and contact your doctor or health provider. Another simple emergency feature is the Apple Lady. If I say the name, it's going to turn on all of your devices. But if you have the Apple Lady turned on, you may be able to say something like, Apple Lady, call 911. Now again, don't practice this with 911 unless you absolutely need it. But it's helpful to know that a voice can be an option if your hands are busy, if you're scared, or if you can't easily tap the screen. You can also use your Apple Watch to call a family member, send a message, or share your location. For seniors who live alone, this can bring a lot of peace of mind, not just for you, but for your family as well. Now, this is the question I think many seniors should think about before buying an Apple Watch. Should you get the GPS model or the GPS plus cellular model? A GPS Apple Watch usually relies on your iPhone being nearby or being connected to Wi-Fi. So a cellular watch can be more independent because it can make calls and send messages even when your iPhone is not with you, as long as cellular service is available and it's set up with a cellular plan. So here's my simple advice. If you always have your iPhone nearby, a GPS model may be enough. But if you go for walks without your phone, work in the yard, drive alone, or often leave your phone in another room, the cellular model may be worth considering. This is usually an added monthly cost from your cell phone's carrier, so that's something to check before buying. But for some seniors, the extra cost may be worth it for the added independence and peace of mind. So which Apple Watch should a senior consider? You do not necessarily need the most expensive model. For many people, the Apple Watch SE can be a very good option because it includes important safety features like emergency SOS, fall detection, and on newer SE models, crash detection. If you want more advanced health features, such as the ECG app or additional heart-related tools, then you may want to look at the regular Apple Watch series model. Right now, the most recent model is the Apple Watch 11. Coming in September, it'll probably be Apple Watch 12. If you are very active outdoors, you hike or travel off the grid, or want the biggest and most rugged Apple Watch, then the Apple Watch Ultra may be worth looking at. But for most seniors, I would start with this question. Do I want this mostly for safety? If yes, make sure the model you buy supports the emergency features that are most important to you. The Apple Watch is not just a gadget. It can help you stay connected even when your iPhone is not right in your hand. Again, it's not perfect, and it does not replace good medical care or common sense. But if you live alone, drive alone, or simply want more layers of protection, the Apple Watch is absolutely worth considering. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more simple Apple tips, and leave me a comment below. Do you already use an Apple Watch, or are you thinking about buying one? Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.